Steve and Jill here.
Hi.
Welcome to the Land Academy Show, entertaining land investment talk. I'm Stephen Jack Butella.
And I'm Jill DeWitt, broadcasting from sunny Southern California.
Today, Jill and I talk about the path of the professional real estate acquisitions.
Is that a person?
Yeah.
Cool.
Every real estate company.
Path of a professional real estate acquisition pro.
Yeah.
I feel like pro's in there twice, but there you go.
Path of a professional real estate acquisitions executive.
There we go.
Every real estate investment trust, every Wall Street fund, every institutional investor, they have a guy sitting in the corner. I used to be this guy. He's called the Vice President of Acquisitions. And his job is, that's what this show's all about.
There you go.
His job is to find property that nobody knows about, off-market property, and provide a clear running stream, a flow, a pipeline of deals to the guys that make decisions at the top.
I have something funny to add. Why the heck does this not make sense? I'm just, because I've been spending a lot of time in Bigger Pockets too lately. Okay. Every single person in Bigger Pockets says, we want off-market deals. And you ask them, where do you go looking for deals? MLS. We did not rehearse that. That was so
everybody,
funny. Like, what the heck? You can't expect it to work if you're not looking in the right place.
Everybody wants to kiss a pretty girl. How many of you? How many pretty girls
have you
walked
dated?
up? Yeah. How many have you walked up to lately? Oh,
zero. Oh my gosh, that's so good.
So this show is a story of if you want that, I don't know why you would want that position. You know, here's in a nutshell, Land Academy itself is me sharing my experience as a professional real estate acquisitions executive for years and years and years, and taking all that high level GoPro type methodology and the tools and stuff and making it available to everybody. Making it available to a kid who wants to buy in the beginning a $500 piece of property and sell it for $1,000, and then parlay that into skyscrapers or whatever. You know, yesterday we talked. The question was, why the heck is everybody kind of branching out into other stuff after they get the hang of it with land? Because that's what it's intended for.
Because they can.
That's the intention.
Yeah.
The intention is to learn with land, learn with your own money, learn how to use data, learn it, and then go do what makes sense to you.
You shouldn't. Yeah, your whole goal should not be to do. I'm doing 1,000 now, $500 transactions.
Yeah.
I sell for $1,500 a month. Deals.
Or if you're Luke Smith, that is your dream, and so that you could stay right there.
But come on, even Luke's doing some big stuff.
Yeah.
He just added more and more and more and more and more. But the end goal is, if I'm gonna do the work on a $5,000, if the same amount of work goes into a $500 property as a $50,000 property, well, I'm gonna do the $50,000 property. I got more profit there.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Did you ever notice how, like, let's say Pepsi or Coke, they had one product for a while, and then now they'd have Diet Coke, and now they have Coke Zero,
Coke Life,
all of that.
All this stuff.
It's the same thing here. If you just have one product, your customers don't just want one product.
It's true.
If you've learned how to make Coca-Cola and distribute it around the world, why not add a product?
Put someone's name on the bottle.
Same situation here. Same exact situation. If you learn how to do it with land, move on. Mm-hmm. Before we get into it, let's take a question posted by one of our members on the landacademy.com online community. It's free.
Okay. So Joe asks, I have some higher value properties that I'm about to list and was wondering how others treat agent commissions for potential buyers. Do you state that the buyer is to pay all commissions, or do you offer a percentage? I plan on listing these on the MLS, and my concern is that agents won't send their clients the listing if a commission isn't stated in the listing or if it's too low. Any insight would be appreciated.
May I?
Sure.
Jill and I are famous for bashing real estate agents, and for good reasons. But I will tell you, as time goes on, and the way the internet is growing, and the internet is the great equalizer. We increasingly have access to information that even weeks ago we didn't have access to. Well, the same thing's happening with the MLS. There's all these flat fee companies out there that are allowing us to pay $200 or $300, in some cases less, to list a property on the MLS without all the malarkey, without all the commissions and the real expensive stuff. You don't need somebody to show your land for you. So this is what we do. And we do sell land on the MLS and houses. Every single house we buy, we list on the MLS for $200 or $300. And we quite simply say, buyer to cover all agent commissions. But here's the good news. There's no listing commissions. And that's going to make them real happy. Mm-hmm. So in a more sophisticated way, and usually in the email that we send to people who are potential buyers of our property, we say, buyer to calculate their own, calculate all commissions above and beyond this purchase price, $300,000. And that to a real investor, which is timely because that's actually what we're talking about today, makes a lot of sense.
You know, and depending who you're trying to sell to, who your market is, our market is other investors. That's been our thing. So, and it's easy to find those, whatever property type you're doing. So most real investors either don't work with agents or they have one in their staff anyway. It's not a big deal. They've got this all figured out. It's not the end user,
exactly, Joe,
who's running around with Bonnie from Skyview Realty looking for this.
Right. It's all end user driven.
Right. So if it's priced that way, and we put things in our things like investor special, you know what I mean? We try to pull them out because that's really who our market is. And for them, it's a no-brainer. They want it this way too.
And without exception, this is what's going to happen. It happens every single time we list it on the MLS. We get some calls from agents and they say, who's representing you? And we tell them it's a flat rate listing situation. We don't pay commissions. And then they'll keep you on the phone because they're salespeople and sell you on the fact that you need an agent. Or they'll say, what's the concept behind that? Because do you know how you're and my answer is this.
It's hilarious.
Please go away. The property sells itself. That's why it's so cheap.
Exactly.
In fact, while I'm talking to you right now, it's probably sold.
Yeah. I mean, here's the bottom line. I could mark it up, $6,000 or whatever it is, and to cover your costs, or I can, and I tell, and it's very easy to talk to people about that. What do you mean you have an agent? No, because you're going to make that money. I don't, they're not them. We're keeping that money ourselves.
Right.
That's the reality. Everybody understands that.
I had this agent say to me last week, this sentence. They were talking about not our deals, but some large deal that was happening in their area in Texas, a large land deal. And she said this sentence, boy, I wish I could get a piece of that.
Which is meaning what?
She just wanted to get into somebody's deal, not really provide anything. That's how they look at it.
Oh.
Boy, I wish I could get a piece of that deal.
You know what I find is funny too?
That makes my blood boil, by the way. Go ahead.
I have yet to meet an agent that doesn't admit that the real money is not in being an agent. It's being an investor.
Which is what we do.
Thank you. I hope we answered that question.
It almost became a rant.
It kind of did.
Darn, it was so close.
Okay.
I love the rant.
Okay.
Today's topic, the path of becoming a professional real estate acquisition vice president. The path of learning how to write a title. This is the meat of the show.
Path of learning how to write a title. Because when we wrote this title, we were obviously struggling. So what should that's a whole nother thing. That's kind of funny you bring this up, Jack or Steven. Sorry, because our titles keep changing, our own personal titles. It happened even this week.
Oh.
Our job titles.
My job title's always been the same.
Really?
Principal.
Oh.
Not like the one in the school with an A.
I know. Okay. Well, you know what I mean? How about this? Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
So, what is your title?
It's changing.
Oh.
Well, you know what's funny? How about this? Maybe I worded it wrong.
People are getting promoted under you.
Let me word this better. My job title's not changing, and it's not going to change, but my roles change, and what I work on changes.
Right.
That's it. My focus changes.
Yep.
And it's all better. I'm still going to be overseeing all the operations and the sales, but I get to do it a different way.
Cool.
Thank you.
That's like a dream job.
It is.
So today's topic is all about what the heck is the difference? And I didn't convey this in the title, admittedly. What's the difference between these vice president of acquisitions for a real estate investment trust, a professional real estate acquisitions person? What's the difference between what they do and how they find deals and us? And the answer is very, very, very little, because that's what I developed a lot of these programs back in the all through the 90s. I was a professional real estate acquisition executive for lots of different places. KPMG. We took a company public with long-term care facilities, and it was all predicated on me finding off-market deals. There's no, for commercial, that was all commercial real estate. There's no place to go like the MLS for commercial real estate. It's all about picking up the phone and talking to owners. Or in my case, I wrote some software that sent overnight faxes overnight. This is before email was as prevalent as it is now, to see if they wanted to sell. And I didn't know it at the time, but I was developing Land Academy. I was developing how Jill and I can buy off-market properties and land and houses, and now mobile homes. But that's for the distant future. So what these people do is they get a budget, and they're in an office, usually wearing a suit, and their bosses, the people above them, expect them to produce X amount of acquisition opportunities, air quotes, acquisition opportunities, according to their acquisition criteria, air quotes, consistently. So every week they need to review 22 deals, or they set the numbers like that. And so the pressure's really on for professional acquisition, vice president of acquisitions, or however we want to phrase it, to come up with these deals. And so anybody who's ever been in any type of position like this, including sales, Jill is the greatest example. At some point you realize 40 phone calls a day, it's just not going to work. You got to come up with something better. And so that was me, and I designed this faxing overnight system, and eventually it became direct mail. And it all starts with a data set. So that's the good news. So when I started, they slapped the phone book down and said, figure it out, which led me almost immediately to, back then, libraries and hospitals used to have libraries. So, and they would have a list of all the hospitals in the country and all the connected long-term care facilities and on and on. So that was my data set, and I literally typed in this phone book-sized book into and created a database because it had the fax numbers and sent it all out. Well, it's the same thing.
I have to ask a question here.
Mm-hmm.
Because I like to think I know you fairly well.
Yeah. Oh, no. She's got that look.
I don't see this as how do I say? I think that your natural, part of why you are so successful is your natural ability to want to do less work.
That's exactly right.
And so
talk to less people.
Created this system, not even probably trying to get out of doing it a different way, work-wise. Like, you have this phone book, let's just say, and I can see you sitting there going, I am not cold calling all those people. Yep. I'm going to just blast them all, and if they're interested, they'll call me back. You know what? Which was your little light bulb, and who knew that was brilliant? And that's the whole underlying theme of the whole thing. You're trying to get out of work, and only when I talk to motivated sellers is the catalyst, if that's the right term, for this whole thing. So thank you, Stephen, and I love your lack of work ethic.
You know, the light bulb really went off when this happened. You're in sales, so you know this. You got to catch the people on the right day. So if you call them and it's Friday and they're ready for the weekend and they're having fun, they'll
one
talk.
Foot out the door.
They'll talk to you for a while. Or if they're having a bad day with their spouse, they're not going to talk to you at all. But when you send them something, when you send them a fax or a letter, they're going to stuff it in a file. And they're going to have a mental thought. They're going to have a thought. Well, this person wants to buy my property, my commercial piece of real estate for $3 million. Nah, that's ridiculous. I'm not going to sell it. They put it in a file. And then some stuff happens 3 weeks later, like their rent goes up, or they
tenant
can't handle,
problems.
Yeah, all kinds of stuff. I mean, and
taxes.
How it is. Yeah, anything, any trigger. And they start rummaging around, finding that thing and saying, oh, selling this property for $3 million doesn't suck right now. In fact, it sounds pretty good. Mm-hmm. Maybe I'm going to call this guy.
Yep.
So the phone thing never cut it for me. When you call them and they no, I don't want to sell my facility. Boom, slam the phone down. They don't.
Well, they're not going to remember you too. Yeah. They don't remember you. They have nothing to.
Right.
They're not going to go back through their auto dial from days ago to see, what was that guy's number? No, that's
Yeah.
not it. That's not it. They'll never remember you.
That's exactly right.
That's a good point.
So my point is, you got to have it on paper.
Mm-hmm.
So people have asked me over the years, what tool? I think people assume this, that these office buildings full of people that own massive real estate empires used to be able, we could say, the Donald Trumps of the world, but he wrecked that for us. He had to become a politician. And I can't use him as an example. Every time I say the word Donald Trump, I get 500 emails from people. Some of them supporting it, some of them you can't imagine.
Yeah, I've sent 3 myself.
I'm going to use Sam Zell from now on. Sam Zell is one of my heroes. He's the Chicago version of Donald Trump, and he's much cooler.
Okay. How old is he? Is he alive?
It might be dead.
That's from kind of, you might want to have a newer reference.
Yeah. I don't know. Is there anybody new?
My old reference was an Orange County reference. It was Don Cole.
Yeah,
so that's old. Okay, sorry. Yeah.
Well, if you see Zell Real Estate, you'll see that everywhere. If you look on commercial signs.
Yep.
He wasn't just in Chicago. He just started in Chicago.
Right. It's
anyway,
same thing.
In the back of everybody's head, and it used to be me included, you would think that the guys that are involved in commercial real estate have access to different tools. They have secrets. They have better people, better information, and there's kind of
more
like
money.
or more money or whatever. And I am absolutely here to tell you, they do not. Jill and I have given away, and I don't even want to say it that way. We provide all the tools, the secrets, however you want to label it, that that a real estate pro has.
Yep.
The VP of acquisitions for a commercial real estate company has probably access to less tools than what we provide.
Well, let me share this too. That's why we have a few Wall Street guys and some Michigan Avenue guys and things in our group. They won't brag about it. They're not going to tell you that. But we have people in our group using our data. Thank you very much, because it's better than what they have.
Exactly. To do that job specifically, which is how I came up with this poorly written title.
You did great, sweetheart. Some of your best work.
Here's the title: Path of Professional Real Estate Acquisitions. That means nothing.
What? It's like, oh my gosh, might as well be knitting your way to a beautiful sweater.
Yeah.
What?
So I think I made my point. Like, do you ever sit around and think, what special stuff do those guys have that they can go buy a building?
No, I don't.
Because
I know.
The fact is,
because we know, we all know some. I mean, I feel bad talking to some of those guys. I leave some of these conversations. You and I go to these events sometimes, or even in a cocktail party or something. I don't know. 4th of July, for example. We were at a 4th of July barbecue where we were with some friends, and they wanted us to introduce this guy. And I walked away going, that guy's not that smart. My goodness.
Right.
They were all excited to impress
yes.
us, right? And introduce us to this guy because he runs XYZ and doing great.
That.
Remember that? And it was, I'm like, that guy's not smart. He's either drunk or drunk all the time or just not that smart. I'm not sure. But anyway, it was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, another thing that comes with that job, is that you have to buy a certain amount of property. You have to. So you start to get stuck in a situation where you're buying property you shouldn't be buying, that you're paying too much.
You have to have a transaction.
Yeah. Because you have to make announcements, especially with publicly traded companies.
Yeah.
It becomes a mess.
Yeah.
So my point in saying that is that we in this group, us, and I include us, we have it made.
Yep.
We have access to great tools. We have exactly the education. And Jill and I are watchdogs, so to speak, for new data sets. We just, in between recording these 2 shows, we just talked about rolling out a new data set because the one that we're using is starting to look a little stale. How powerful is that?
I know.
You can just kind of trust us that we're going to give you the most fresh stuff.
But you know what? Because we're using it. That's the bottom line.
Right, that's what I mean.
It's not like I'm just saying,
it's not working for us as much as it used to.
It's not like, it's so funny too. It's not like we have a bunch of customers that come to us and say, you know what, you need to do that. No, we're using it. We're on the forefront here too, guys. So we need it. We need it also. Like Parcel Fact was kind of more for us.
Yeah, well, it was.
So yeah, we needed it too. So
my whole point is, you have access to the tools that these guys have without the pressure. You have to buy pressure, time pressure, which is a good thing for most people. Well, you've done it again. You spent another 20 minutes actually with us. listening to the Land Academy show. Join us tomorrow for another interesting episode where we discuss regret or reward. Which one are you going to have a few years from now?
I like that. And we answer your questions posted on our free online community found off of landacademy.com.
You are not alone in your real estate ambition. I stole that from a movie.
Oh, what movie was it?
Kill Bill.
Really?
Yeah.
Did somebody use that line in there?
Yeah.
Totally missed that.
Tarantino.
Really? That's, I don't, was it the beginning? Was it, when did he use it?
It was in the trailer
No.
with the snake, the mamba snake.
I don't remember. Well,
And she said, people either have at the end of their whatever they've ended, whether it's a relationship or a career or a retirement or at the end of something substantial, you either have regret or you either feel regret, like, man, I should have done something differently, or reward, like, wow, that worked out. That worked out. I'm going to try a different version of that right now. Again.
Right. I know the concept. I just didn't remember the reference.
Yeah.
So, and we have just watched Kill Bill in the last 90 days. So I guess I just set myself up to go watch it again. It's a good movie.
I should give you a trophy for watching Kill Bill.
Oh, I like Kill Bill. Because it's all about the girl kicking ass and winning in the end. That's why.
Great?
Well, hey, any woman who hasn't seen Kill Bill, you should see Kill Bill. Hey, and share the fun by subscribing on iTunes or wherever you're listening. And while you're at it, please rate us there.
We are Steve and Jill. Information
and inspiration
to buy undervalued property.